Hey guys, how the hell are you? Welcome back once again to Arnold Drinks. My name is Arnold and tonight I drink. This is actually a bottle that I've had for a hot minute and I keep forgetting to do a review on it, so forgive me for that. Just a spoiler alert, I think this is one of the best values in bourbon right now, because to me it's ticking a hell of a lot of boxes that a few more popular bourbons are said to tick, but haven't for me, and at a much lower price point. So let's dive in. This is Benchmark Small Batch, which is a 90 proofer from Buffalo Trace. That's right, this is distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. And you guys already know, hopefully from watching a few of my other videos, what my opinion is on Buffalo Trace and various Buffalo Trace products. I think a lot of it is stupid overhyped and not worth the chase at all. Where this is different is that you are getting, in my opinion, all that you are promised with a few of the other Buffalo Trace products. You're actually getting it here, and at a sub $20 price point. What do I mean by that? Let's dive in. So first of all, let's give this a little bit of a swirl job, so that way we can let the aromas kind of enter into our little arena that we have right here for this tasting. Okay, hear me out. This is gonna sound weird. The first thing that popped out of the glass when I smelled this was Bubblicious. A little bit of bubble gum coming forth in a big way. Kind of a bright sweetness in there too, like almost like a powdered sugar kind of thing. Caramel, a little bit of oak in there, a little bit of rye too, but like just a pinch, which is kind of hilarious considering that this is Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1, which is known to be their smaller percentage of rye in the mash bill. But I'm getting just a hint of that, but oh man, so much Bubblicious coming out of that. A little bit of apple too. A little bit of like Granny Smith or something. Definitely a green apple note that's in there. Cheers, let's dive in. By the way, I should also mention that I'm wearing this Stars of Astrea t-shirt to kind of put my buddy's band out there, so please definitely check out that band. Link is in the description. But also because when I had my buddy Jules, who plays guitar in that band, over, and he tests out a lot of different whiskey that I've got, and he instantly thought that this tasted like something far more complex and far more expensive. And I tend to agree. But anyways, that's the reason why I'm wearing this shirt. So definitely check out that band. It's in the description below. But as far as what I'm getting out of the flavor palette, that bubblegum note is still there, although it's way more subdued in the palate than it is in the aroma. In the aroma, that's the first thing that hits you like a punch in the face. In the palate, you're definitely getting a little bit more of that kind of classic caramel note, a little bit of vanilla in there, just a little bit. I kind of call bullshit whenever people are saying that they're getting a lot of vanilla out of bourbon. I just don't get it. But there is a little bit of it in there, as well as like a little bit of like powdered sugar note, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of like some sort of confection. Like there's a little bit of a doughiness that's in there too. Not bad at all. Let's go in again. Like, don't get me wrong, palate, it's not overly complex. It's not one of those things that is gonna blow people's mind completely, but if I had a bunch of people over to check out various whiskeys on my shelf and we were doing a blind tasting, this might be something that I would throw in as a ringer, because it's one of those things that's going to totally mess you up and totally make you think it's something else, because it's just that good. It really, really is. You know, people can argue that point with me if they want to. What I would say, buy a bottle. It's less than $20. How can I be angry at the price point when I'm getting this kind of flavor out of it? You know, the brown sugar, the sort of doughiness that's in there a little bit. It's not like a fried dough bomb like the Stranahan's or the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled or even that Chattanooga that I have on my shelf behind me are. It's just a little bit of a fried dough thing that's in there, just kind of pushing up everything else. A little bit of oak in there. There's like next to no graininess on the palate. It tastes like it's been matured a little bit longer than what the age statement says on this. If I remember right, this thing has an age statement on their website, I think, that says it's at least 4 years. But yeah, I'm getting more than a healthy amount of oak on that. I'm still getting a little bit of the green apple, but it was more there on the nose than on the palate. But man, this is awesome. Hold on one second, because like, I'm not the biggest fan of Buffalo Trace, and Buffalo Trace these days at most stores around me is pushing just under $30 for a bottle. And I've never been the biggest fan of it. But hold on, I want to compare it real quick. Mind you, yeah, this is not going to be a blind tasting at all, but it's one of those things where I gots to know. I gots to know. See, like, I do get a little bit of different notes right off the bat from the aroma. Like, this has a little bit more of like a maraschino note, a little bit more of like a dark cherry note, and there's that bubble gum. Man, this one is significantly brighter in terms of the aroma. And now after smelling them side by side, this one does have a little bit more grain in the aroma, but man, that bubblicious note. Between the two, they both have a fair amount of brown sugar in the aroma. This one I feel is like tons of bubblicious bubble gum, a little bit of oak coming through, a little bit of green apple, and then like some of your like typical bourbon notes, the caramel and the vanilla. Whereas this is a little bit more dark fruit forward. This is a little bit more of what I expect from Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1. How it just has kind of like a very, very slight plummy and dark cherry note that's in there. That's trying to mingle with the brown sugar. Okay, let's go in. Now let's go in on this one. I'm still noticing the definite differences here. So that dark fruit note definitely carries through on this one. Still plenty of brown sugar, plenty of classic bourbon notes in there. A little bit more syrupy. This one is just a little bit brighter, plenty of brown sugar, plenty of classic bourbon notes in there, the caramel, the vanilla, etc., etc. A little bit more oak on that one, even though it's still a little bit brighter flavor. But honestly, between these two, with how much these two bottles are going for, I should say this one is a pint. So bear that in mind. This one actually is about the same price as this. This one's a fifth, this one's a pint. Like, I'll be honest with you, like a $7.50 of Buffalo Trace being just under $30 these days, depending on which retailer you find it at, versus this, which is under 20, that all day. Don't get me wrong, this one's okay, but I kind of feel like for something a little bit more interesting and a little bit more bang for your buck, that to me is just kind of a clear winner. One of these days I should do like a blind shootout with like a few different bottles from Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1, like this, E.H. Taylor, Stag, something like that. Maybe not Stag, that's too high proof. But like this, E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare, and pit them up against this. And I should maybe do a ranking. But as it stands right now, to me, don't spend the extra $10 for a fifth of Buffalo Trace. Just get this, because that's a substantially better value. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's tons more of this content to come. And as always, remember, take what you do seriously. Do not take yourselves too seriously.